This is Unexplained YouTube.
Look. A human. Listening that that's not human. It's not a human. The face is here at first, but no.
Look. Whoa.
That is not a human.
Oh my god.
Hey, Kendall.
Hello, Max.
Nice night.
For
For a walk.
Oh. Yeah.
No, it's shitty out. It's cold here. Fuck it.
It's cold in this video we have
It
today
is,
for you.
Yeah, it's very cold. It looks like it's cold in this video that we have for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a video that was posted by a channel called Fox RF 600. All it says is out for a walk at River's Edge. We saw this before we got the video on it. It had walked a few feet, looked back at us, and crouched down. And then that's all they wrote. This is a 22-second video on this channel. It was posted on January 27th, 2014. And they only had one video before this and none after this. And I don't think they replied to anybody in the comments.
Well, that's easy to explain. Bigfoot got him.
Bigfoot ate them.
Ate the whole family.
The damn kids wouldn't shut up. He sonar tracked them back to their house.
Gobble them right up, dude.
Gobbled them right up. Ate them like he eats the trees. He picks the trees out of the ground like carrots and he eats them whole.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like the Bugs Bunny of the Great White North.
He is, except he ain't real. Bugs Bunny's real.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so guess I'll go first with my analysis in my hypothesis.
Well, I was just saying that at first you thought it was a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at first I thought it was a moose.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found a few slowed down versions and we're like, well, that's neither of those.
Right. Right.
It just doesn't match. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I really did thought. Wow. Great job, mate. At first, I really did think that it was like the backside of a bear, just because how wide, this object in question, this thing in question, appears to be, but it clearly does have some sort of like waist torso-esque motion, and it clearly does kind of like stand up, and that.
Oh yeah.
And like when a bear stands on its legs with the hind legs, like what it can be bipedal. They don't have shoulders, and this thing clearly has a kind of humanoid structure to it.
Oh yeah, totally.
But there are three red flags for me in this video. The first one being the quality of this video. All right, I know we're always complaining about like the 1 megapixel videos people always submit of Bigfoot in the woods.
Are you kidding? I think we celebrate those at this point.
But this one is, 1080p, 60 FPS. It's super crisp, super clean. I mean, I realize the guy probably has a fairly nice camera, but like it's a little too clean, right? Like it's so good. It's
yeah, better than usual.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there are 2 points of editing. There's one like 6 seconds in where he's like shaky cam trying to spot the thing. And then it kind of takes a jump, and then all of a sudden it's like he's on a tripod, and then he can track the object as it moves away. No, don't get me wrong. Having a tripod isn't that unusual if these people are to be believed. They're on a vacation, they're in the wilderness, taking pictures and whatnot. If you have a fairly nice camera, chances are you brought a tripod with you. So that gets a pass on me. I'm not gonna.
I also think that it's pretty easy to hold a camera that steady if you're really focused on something.
And that's true too. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna make a stink about that. That's
Yeah.
okay by me. However, the second cut towards the end, or it's really right at the end of this video, very short. It's kind of weird. It's a cut, and you can hear it with the dialogue. So as the dad, I guess, is saying, "Oh my God!" Like he just creamed his pants.
Let's call him Daddison.
Daddison. as Daddison's like creaming himself over this alleged Bigfoot encounter,
Yeah.
you can hear one of the girls like giggling.
Right. Right.
Yeah, which is weird, you know. A lot of times when kids know they're doing something like playing
They're
a
doing
joke.
their mischievous, their
Yeah.
little laughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I have a theory, and I'm pimping my theory now.
Okay.
So
Yeah, get that
I'll hang on to it. I'll hang
yeah.
on to it. I'll hang on to it.
pumped and primed.
Yeah.
So that to me is just kind of weird, you know, that whole like if this was a real like dangerous situation, I think Daddison and Momtar would be like trying to wrangle the children in like hush children, like there's a murderer or a bear or something weird over there, but there's really not a lot of dialogue. It's mostly the kids going, you know, that ain't Natchy, that ain't no human. I ain't never seen none like that, Pa.
And now that for me is a red flag for this video.
Right.
It slightly makes me think that this is a fake, although I prefer my theory still. But if there's anything that red flags me, it's the way the kids talk. Kids don't say that ain't natural, that ain't human. Like kids are like, that's a Bigfoot.
Right.
That's an animal. That's a guy. Like it's very basic. Like that's a thing. That's a Bigfoot. Like there's no that ain't human.
Right.
What is that? That ain't no man out there. Like, that's not kid like, especially for little girls.
Yeah, I mean, like, and the way she keeps repeating it, like everybody else's dialogue, like, "Oh, I thought it was a deer" at first, sounds kind of like okay, but like the way that the primary like little girl's voice, like, it just sounds like a line, like, "Okay, just keep saying this over and over, sweetie."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
So and then we take a quick trip to the front of the video. In the first 3 seconds of the video, there's a lot of tracks leading kind of towards the bank, the embankment here. Which is to me weird because like they came from the direction where they're filming, so what prompted them to turn around? Or B, they've gone to that point a couple times rehearsing this, or trying to get different like shots to see what they like the most, or C, they're just kind of out there, and then like there's some sort of noise or something that makes them. But again, there's nothing in the description that like leads me to believe that. Like nowhere in the description he says like we heard a noise, we smelled something, we felt weird. Like nothing that you normally see with other Bigfoot encounters. Granted, you know Bigfoot ain't real, so it's you can't really take all the meta of Bigfoot too seriously, but if you want to try to like lump it all together, like a lot of the nomenclature of a Bigfoot encounter are not here. Another thing interesting about the beginning of the video is if you look at 4 seconds, if you pause it at 4 seconds, you got a pretty good shot of the little like bank in the front and then the slope in the back where the Bigfoot's supposed to be. So between the 4-second mark and the 6-second mark, of course, there's 5. 5 is when he's, there's a cut, and he's like I think he's putting the camera on a tripod, but the camera gets, a lot more steady.
I think he could be at least like leaning on something.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Probably using the children as supports, as human
like somebody's
tripods.
Shoulder or something like that. Yeah.
And it's just interesting because at 4 seconds, there's no creature, and then at 6 seconds, it's almost identical, like embankment placement, and then there's a creature like crouched there. It's just
now. Yeah, I know it's just weird for me to rarely play Squatch Advocate though. Like sometimes it's just hard to see shit in the woods.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that, but it's so clear for the rest of the video that there's a brown object there, and that it's moving, and it's so like.
Also, I know it's
fluid.
very clear. Like also, we don't know how much time passed between cuts. It could have been like bam, and it could have been 3 or 4 minutes.
I don't know about minutes, but that's true.
Yeah.
Again, that's playing the devil's advocate that this is in fact a real encounter with the Sasquatch kind. It's just those little like things, little points for me really make this fall into the hoax category. Like, the family's on vacation. They thought they'd make something fun. So they came up with a little idea of like, oh, put so and so in the monkey suit and have them go out there, and we'll get the kids in on it too, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun for everybody. Make some memories or whatever. And
Sure.
I get that. That's cool. But why would you put that on YouTube and lie to everybody? That's not right. That's not okay.
I have a much more sinister theory.
Oh, I know.
There's a few things that really make me think that I'm correct.
Okay,
anyway, go ahead.
before you take it down the dark road of
Yeah.
uncomfortableness,
Okay.
I will say this: the video, it's a good attempt. It's a really good attempt. It's convincing. Like the movement, the color of the fur.
Oh, that's what really makes me like, whoa. That does not look like a suit.
And at least the cameraman, Dadison's
Yes.
commitment, because he's genuinely getting into it, man. He's making some noises. Everybody else is just kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was an animal, but
Yeah.
like he sounds kind of,
He
startled.
sounds distraught.
Yeah.
He really sounds distraught.
Again, though, the lack of panic from anybody else, though, it's just weird to me.
I could swing that a few ways before I get deep into my theory.
Okay.
They're pranking him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, perhaps, right? Like he's the one with the camera. Dad's out there. Come on, let's pull one over Dad's eyes, Maybe.
Right.
Perhaps.
Right.
Like, we don't know. There's nothing to know here except what we see.
Right.
Maybe. That might explain it. Just something to think about. Anyway, anything else, Kendall?
Like, our original observations of moose or bear, I don't think
Yeah.
hold up after watching the stabilized. And we'll link it to one of the stabilized ones
Oh,
along
yeah.
with the original, so you can make the same observations yourselves. Just there's little inconsistencies, and the bigger scope of just like the nice quality of this just feels too good to be true. So, in conclusion, I think it is a hoax.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's where I stand with this. I also accept the possibility that this could be a great big old hoax.
Mm-hmm.
I am not above that. I think that is very possible. But I have another theory, just for the sake of tossing it around in your mind. I think it explains a few things. So one thing that you mentioned is that you don't like how, if it were a Bigfoot, how would it know to just turn away all of a sudden and duck into the trees, right?
Did I mention that, or did I mention that before we recorded?
You mentioned that before we recorded. You
Okay.
said that something that tipped you off to it being a hoax was, how would a Squatch know to just duck into the trees after
Right,
that?
like how's he gonna know that? Oh, okay, I got the tripod out. You can saunter away now, so we get all the
Yeah.
YouTube views.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My theory explains that. My theory makes that kind of creepy to me, actually. So, you have family out here. They're doing shit. Now, the geography, to me, of this seems fairly clear in my mind. At the beginning of the video, before the 4-second mark, you can see pretty well just how far away they are from the trees. They are a distance. Like, he zooms way in, right?
Right.
It is way yonder. And I understand that being actually there with your own eyes, seeing, it's going to be clearer in person, but they are a good ways away. So it's hard to really size things up properly. And then he zooms way in. Okay, so there's that. And you mentioned the footprints. I see a creek bed right there. I'm paused at 3 seconds. I see a creek right there, and I see a bunch of footprints on the edge of the creek, making me think they were skipping rocks or fooling around with the frozen water or playing snowball pitch. I don't fucking know. Okay? They were just dicking around out in the woods by the creek.
but there are tracks that lead up to the left and keep going beyond the water on the right.
There are, but we don't know how far they go.
True.
And plus, even if you were to go up there to the left, if you're standing there, those trees would still be a ways away from that. So we don't know what
True.
tracks may or may not be there. Okay, we just don't know.
All right.
Okay, so somebody, this looks like a fairly decent sized group of people, 4 to 5 people. I would say 3 to 5 people. So they're out there. It only takes one of them to notice something. Okay, when you have that many people, people are looking all over the place. It only takes one of them to notice something and be like, "What's that?" And then other people are like, "What?" Okay, so they're walking back towards the frame, the direction of us watching. And then somebody sees something over there. And then they turn and they look the direction that we see in the video. Okay, so that would explain the sets of footprints leading both ways. Now, the kids see it and whatever, they're hysterical. I agree that it's weird that the kids were like, "That ain't human," whatever.
Right.
Okay, I'm kind of pitching that aside for now. Now, to me, Daddison, he sounds genuinely like, "I don't want to be here. This is not good." I mean, like, it's a little bit like creepy to hear because his mouth is right up in the camera and he's like, oh. He sounds like he's dying. Like, I don't want to be here. He just sounds like he's had better days, you know? So somebody points, "There's a thing over there." He turns around, has his camera on, he's trying to get it. Camera cuts. Whoever it is, whatever it is over there, finally they sit up where we eventually end up seeing him. Daddison turns on the camera again, much more steady this time. Sure, that's great. That's both for the hoax and for this. That stands true. So finally he has it right in frame, right?
Right.
Now, the girls are going, "That ain't no human. But the first thought of was blah, blah, blah." Whatever. This is where what you said comes into play. You said, how would a Bigfoot know to duck back into the trees? How would it know it's been made? My theory is that this is not a Bigfoot, obviously. Bigfoot ain't real.
Yep.
So, I think this is a guy. And you're going to say, "Max, it looks too huge to be a guy." That camera zoomed so far in, okay? When you look at the beginning, they're so far away. He zoomed so far in. Your depth of field and all that shit, and your lens and your ratio, you don't know what the fuck is going on. It could all be a trickery. Like, remember when they went to the Patterson area and it's totally different than what everybody thought it looked like in real life?
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's not what it looked like. Well, it's that small, you know? So we have no idea just how big these things are. So now you skip in a bit when they're holding steady on it in frame at, I don't know, 8 seconds-ish. You can see it. You can see that on the other side of the creek, there's a river bank, right?
Yes.
And it elevates somewhat. It's definitely higher up than they are, the people filming this.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, because of this, we don't know if the ground tapers back off on the other side and gets lower, or if it maintains that elevation as it goes further back. So that thing standing back there could be higher because it is simply up on a hill. It doesn't necessarily mean it's taller or anything like that. It does look huge, but is it huge? That's the thing to determine.
Yeah, some people are like in the comments speculating like, "Oh, it looks to be about at least 8 feet tall." Like, how can you tell? Where are you getting like?
Yeah, there's no way to know. How do you even know that?
Yeah.
Like, where do you know where the trees start and end? Right? How do you know the thing isn't standing on a bunch of down trees itself if it's not a bank back? Like, you don't know what's back there. There's no way to say for certain.
Unless they are the Bigfoot, Max.
Unless they are the Bigfoot that was there. Okay, so back to where I was. The thing is, the dude, I'm just going to call it a guy because that's my theory that I'm going on here. The guy, he's out there creeping on people, right? Or he's out there being a woodsman or whatever the fuck.
Right, just doing Canadian living
Canadian
off the
woodsman
land,
things. Yeah.
off the grid Canadian man things. Yes.
Now, chances are, if he is that, either a creep or Canadian woodsman on the up and up, he would have a coat or several layers of either hide or something forest colored, especially if he's like a hunter or something like that, or he is or has hunted animals. He would probably have a hide jacket or something, or multiple layers.
Not even necessarily a hide jacket. I just sent you 2 pictures of a Carhartt, and the colors match that of the thing we're looking at. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but Like these
Oh
are-
yeah, totally.
yeah, like from
Yeah.
behind, especially because the way these hoods, these are very thick hoods on these Carhartt jackets. If the hood was up or even in the down position from behind, that would look really weird.
Absolutely, totally. That looks like what this could be.
Yeah.
That absolutely looks like that's what this could be. So, here's where it gets really creepy for me. This is a guy in a big Carhartt jacket or hide jacket or something like that, right? With his hood up. The Dadison knows where the dude is, and he starts zeroing in on him with his camera. Dude in the brush realizes he's been made and or is being filmed. He decides to get out of there. Meanwhile, the little girls are like, "Oh, we just saw a Bigfoot. That wasn't human. That was a mountain lion. That was a bear. Yeah, whatever the fuck." Right?
Right.
But Dad is still shook because Dad zoomed in on the camera and he saw it better than any of them did because he zoomed in on it and he realized it was a guy. That's why he's sitting there going, "Oh, fuck," because he's creeped out.
right.
That's
And
my
it's-
theory.
And it's Canada. You can't carry guns with you.
Can't carry. I guess not. Yeah. So that's why I think Dadison is freaked out because there's a dude watching them from across the bank. Mm-hmm. That's my theory.
Which that is very terrifying to think about.
Yeah. Because why?
Yeah,
You know?
why? Yeah. You
Yeah.
got, your family of mostly, women folk, and you got the woodsman just eyeing them like, I'm going to
Yep.
split them down the middle like a maple tree.
Perhaps.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a city boy. I don't know what the woodsmen think of. It's probably
Perhaps.
not. Yeah. But here is my counterpoint to that, Max.
Okay. Yeah.
So, if the Dadison felt like he was being creeped on, why would he post it to YouTube and not bring it to the police and just kind of let this kind of slide?
Maybe. Okay.
Second of all, why would he name the video like Bigfoot sighting?
I can answer that real easy.
Okay.
First of all, we don't know any details about this family, right?
Correct.
There's nothing on them. Mm-hmm. This could not be, or I'm not saying could not, but this might not have any, like his channel, this might not have anything to do with him. Like he might have sent this to somebody.
But-
this might be the son's account or something.
But the thing about this channel is it's got two videos. It's got a hockey.
Hockey is the
Video.
other one, yeah.
Yeah.
This, I'm just saying, like, he could have sent this to his son. He could have exported this on the computer and somebody found it and uploaded it on a different account. We just don't know. Maybe facetiously they labeled it Bigfoot sighting, full well knowing that that's not what it was, and it was sitting there on the hard drive, and one day one of them uploaded it for lulz or for whatever's. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the family genuinely thought it was a Bigfoot. I just think my theory of a dude creeping on them is the most interesting. I don't know if it's the most plausible, but it's the most interesting to me.
Well, I
And-
mean, compared to it being a bipedal, humanoid ape type creature that's
Right.
been dormant in North America for
Sure.
hundreds of years, I think
Sure.
it's very plausible it is just, in fact, a dude creeping on them or a hoaxed scenario.
A hoax. Yeah, I think it's also extremely. Like I said, I'm totally open to that. I'm just trying to put out something else
Yeah.
that would let this remain legitimate, yet still be explained.
I mean, there is also the kind of like middle ground of like maybe the girls are in on it and Dadison's left out of the loop because
Yeah.
Dadison's got a new camera and they
Exactly.
thought, you know what'd be cool if we like played a prank on him so he could use that new fancy lens on his Canon What's Up camera majig thing.
TS6, whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many variables. Mm-hmm. It's just you can't explain it until somebody either goes to this spot, sees how high the trees are, sees what something else looks like in that spot, or the family is like, it was this or that. Like it's not going to be known ever. So if anybody knows where this spot is, let me know. Let us know. Comment down there, and we'll get the team on it.
Yeah,
So
the team.
yeah, us.
Us. The boys at the lab.
Yeah.
Us.
Anyway, those are the few theories we have. Kendall, is there anything else you wanted to say?
I wanted just give out credit that this is very convincing. This is a lot better than a lot of stuff we have to sit through.
Oh yeah.
Whatever that one Bigfoot video we did was, where the Bigfoot's like in the desert and he's like falling off the side of a
He's
hill.
falling down the mountain and shit. Yeah, that was pretty rough. Yeah, this is miles above that.
Yeah,
so.
this is some top notch stuff. It just it just reeks of too good to be true, and there's just little things that add up into one big massive, not convincing for me kind of vibe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's this one. This is another Bigfoot video in January.
Woo!
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.